Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. So you might be feeling a little bit warmer now, which is good. Let's come to a wide-legged squat position. Toes turn out in line with the knees. Just getting a little bit of echo, so I'll open the door a little bit. Awesome. So sit down into your squat position and then find that tucking under of your tailbone once again. Try and lean back into your heels a little bit more so that you feel your bottom start to work a little bit. Good, holding here, and then see how low you can go. Stick your bum out behind you, but keep the spine nice and long. So pull the ribs in, pull the stomach in, tailbone towards the heels, and then see if you can add just a couple of little pulses. Just warming into the hip fascia, the hip joint. Couple more breaths, chin to throat, keep the spine nice and long. Good, and then pause just in a position where you can hold it for a little while. It doesn't have to be super low. And then roll your right shoulder down towards the floor. Let your head gently drop forward. Now as you roll the shoulder forward, use your hand to press the inside of your thigh backwards. Big breath. And then slowly come back up. If you need to take a break and come out of your squat position, do so. Otherwise, move on to the other side. Nice deep breaths. Use your hand to encourage your knee out and away from you. One last breath. And then come all the way up. Good. Just shake the legs out. Try and get the thigh muscles really shaking. Whew. Okay, so staying nice and wide, add a little squat, and then we come into a side bend. So let's go right leg straight, and right arm reaches up and over. Good, and then bend, come through your squat, other side. So really press that foot down into the floor of the straight leg, and then keep moving back and forth. Really reach out through the fingertips and even let your ear drop to your shoulder so you get that neck stretch as well. Sink as low as you want as you come back through the center. Awesome, one more each side. Now we're going to briefly add on to this. So if you're happy with this movement, keep going, stretching that side body. If you want a little bit more challenge, you're going to stretch over, tap the foot behind, so the straight leg taps behind the bent leg. And then you come back to center, straighten the leg, reach up and over, tap behind, come back. Just give it a go. Don't worry if you kind of wobble or fall over. It is a little bit of balance. And you can take a few steps to get there if you need to. Last one each way. Awesome, come back to center, shake it all out. And then, just looking at my list, so we're going to do a little side lunge now, just to get into the groin area. So just starting to bend through one knee. Keep the other leg straight. Now really press that straight leg foot into the floor and try and press it away from the body. Keep the spine long. If you need support, you can rest on your opposite thigh, or if you can reach the floor, come down, but keep the spine nice and long. Breathe here. All we're going to do is slowly start to walk over to the other side or just change legs. Use the thigh for support, but keep pressing your straight leg foot into the floor. Chin to throat. And then back to center, hands in the middle this time, or hands to hips. Straighten both legs, or keep a nice little bend. And then just allow the chest to come as far forward as it feels comfortable. Again, forearms can rest on the knees, or hands can come to the floor. One more breath here, big breath in through the nose, this time side out the mouth. Good. And then let's just come down onto our hands and knees. And then once you get there in this position, make sure you've got some cans or something to support you if you feel like you need to be a little bit raised off the floor when we move. And then let's step our left foot forward to begin with. Hands on the inside of the foot. So you may need to wiggle your left foot out to the side a little bit. Now from here, we're going to lengthen our spine forward and drop our hips towards the floor. Squeeze your right buttock and try and open the front of the right hip. Chin to throat, nice long spine. If you want a little bit extra, keep the back foot flat, squeeze the back leg straight. One more breath. Lengthen the spine, pulling the belly up into your spine. And then slowly release. Start to walk back towards your knee. Straighten the front leg now. Half split position. Your hands can stay on the floor or you can be more upright, but squeeze your bottom if you're upright to help stabilize you. Pull your ribs into your spine. Front toes are lifted, so your left toes are pulling up towards you here. Squeeze your thigh muscle. One more breath. And then bending your left knee, come back to your lunge position. This time just plant your right hand down and twist towards your left knee. So your body is twisting. Tuck the back toes under and then reach your left arm up if you can. Good. Stay here for a moment. And then this left arm is going to lift you up, but you're still facing the left side. So you come into a high kneeling twist. Arms reach away from each other, so try and create space in your joints. Then lift, feel a sense of lifting the pelvis up away from the floor, and press into your left heel a little bit more. Try and pull your right leg forward more. Good, keep squeezing the right glute, left arm drops down, right arm reaches up. Try and stay facing the left side if you can. One more breath. And then slowly unravel. Hands come to the floor. Now we're going to turn towards the back of the mat and do a side lunge. So you need to pivot on your feet. We've done the side lunge in the warm-up. Bend your right knee, left leg is straight. So your toes will be facing the right side of your mat. Good, nice long spine here. One more breath. And then slowly roll all the way back to the front of the mat. Swap sides. So you can swap sides by just swapping, or you can press into your hands, lift up, and swap legs. Always up to you. Good. Now from here, find your low lunge position with your right leg in front, right knee over right ankle. Lengthen the spine, lower the hips down to the floor. Squeezing your left buttock this time. If you want a little bit extra, untuck the back toes, pressing the top of the foot down into the floor for the ankle stretch. And squeeze the left leg straight. Try and lift the left leg from your buttock and the back of your thigh. One more breath here. Good. Slowly lower the back knee. Getting ready for your half split position. So you walk yourself back, straighten the front leg. Pull the toes back towards your body. And then try and make sure your pelvis is square. So you want to make sure that both hips are level, that your left hip is pulling back slightly. Feel free to come into that more upright position. One more breath. Now in these kneeling positions, guys, just use a pillow under your knees if that feels more suitable. Bend the front knee, come slowly forward, left hand down. Now you plant your left hand in line with your right foot, and then see if you can lean more onto your left hand, just for a moment, and then extend your right arm up. So you want to kind of engage the muscles around the left shoulder blade, so you're leaning backwards into that left arm. Good. Now from here, use the right arm, start to lift yourself up to face the right side now. If it feels too much with the arms out straight, bend the back elbow. Good. Now squeeze your left buttock more and press down more through your right heel. One more breath. Maybe start to add the reach, so left arm reaches up, right arm down. Keep squeezing that left buttock and pulling your ribs and your belly in towards you. Awesome. Slowly unravel, coming to the side lunge at the back of our mat now. So pivot yourself around to the left side, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Remember, you can be propped up on your forearms, or you can have your hands on the floor to support you. Good, and then slowly, gently make your way round to the front once again. So let's swap our legs over again. So you can either do that by jumping to swap, or slowly stepping right leg back, left leg forward. This time I want you to come into an upright low lunge position. So we've got our right knee down on the floor directly under our hip. Our right buttock is squeezing, back toes are tucked under. Left heel is directly under our left knee. So we're going to try and lift up here to a hover position. So we really want to make sure that our grounding or our stance is in the right place. So you're going to press through your front heel and your back toes, squeeze your right buttock and see if you can slowly lift up. It doesn't matter if you can't actually get off the floor. Practice squeezing into the front heel, pressing it down and pressing down through the back toes, and then trying to squeeze your legs together. If you made it up, just hold there for a minute and then see if you can slowly lower down. Keep the pelvis stable, stomach muscles in. Good. Now we're going to do it one more time and we're going to stay up there. So slowly coming all the way up, and we'll stay up there. So if you couldn't quite get up, then just rearrange yourself and come to this high lunge position. So we're going to intentionally keep the back knee bent rather than try and squeeze it straight. Keep it bent, tuck the tailbone under, abs on. Hands up like this or on your shoulders and start to rotate your body. Pelvis is stable. Try and just create space around the shoulders and the shoulder blade. Couple more breaths. Getting nice and warm now. Allow your ribs to twist on top of your pelvis, but keep your pelvis facing forward. Last breath. Awesome. Slowly release down. Option, come down back into your kneeling position however you like, or slowly lower your back knee down. As you lower, try and squeeze the legs towards each other more. Good. Plant the hands forward. This is where some help can come in. You can use your props. And then we're going to start to straighten both legs. So a version of your pyramid pose. So up on the back toes helps to create that, give you a little bit more space. But if it feels okay, you can plant that back heel down. From here, try and lengthen your spine, including your neck, so feel chin to throat. And then if you can, see if you can give a go picking up the front toes. One more breath here. And then slowly lower those front toes. Bend both knees just a little bit. Walk your hands or your props forward so that your back toes are light and your front foot has all of your body weight, or at least 90%. Then just make sure it's a little bit more in your heel, but keep your big toe knuckle anchored down. Keep a little bend in this left knee, and when you're ready, start to float your back leg. Doesn't have to be high, but keep your leg active, so squeeze the leg straight, press the heel backwards, and then pull your ribs and your stomach away from the floor. Chin to throat. If you're happy here, stay here, or you can bend into the knee, tap your foot down, and lift back up. It's kind of like doing bridge pulse lifts, so you're working into your left glute, feeling your buttocks. Last 2 breaths. Awesome, and then slowly release the foot down. Slowly come down onto your knees. Take a moment, feel free to come into child's pose, or bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under hips, cat-cow. Inhale one way, exhale the other. Inhale one way, exhale the other. Nice work, guys. Feel that heat circulating around the body, feel the sensations, feel the muscle activity. Alright, let's move into the other side. So, right foot forward this time. Come up to your low kneeling position. Feel free to bring your pillow underneath your left knee this time. Right heel stacked underneath the right knee. Squeeze your left buttock, ribs and belly in. See if you can start to hover that back knee, even if it's just a tiny lift or the sense of lifting. Length through your spine, maybe lift all the way up. Try and keep the space in your backbones, between your backbones. Good. Up and down. Keep tucking the tailbone. This time we come all the way up and hold it. So if you need to arrange yourself to come up into your lunge, hold it there. Start to move through the upper body. So you're twisting your ribs from side to side, but still pulling them into the body. Create space in the shoulders. Now, if you feel a little bit off balance here, just go wider with your legs. It always helps. Good, keep the back heel lifted. Press into that right heel a little bit more, try and pull it back towards you. Last couple of breaths. And then pause. Tuck under more, squeeze your left buttock more, press down through your right heel and try and pull it underneath your right thigh. Lower yourself down, nice and slow. Awesome. So getting ready for pyramid now. Bring your props in if you like. Start to bring both legs towards straight. Now they don't need to be completely straight. Back heel can be lifted or planted. Then from here, just encourage your right hip backwards and your left hip forward so that your pelvis is evenly facing forward. Lengthen the spine, including the neck. And then if you can, lift up the front foot. Remember, you can have your knees bent, but focus on keeping the spine straight. Last few breaths. And then start to plant the front toes down. Walk your hands forward. The body weight now shifts into your right leg. Be really light on your left toes, and when you're ready, start to float the left leg. Squeeze your left buttock. The weight is in your right heel. Keep your right knee bent. Good, so play around with this, holding here, chin to throat, nice long spine. Or you can play around with tapping the back toes down and then lifting back up. Always keep that right knee bent, it just bends a little bit more when you lower back down. 2 more breaths. Almost done with the legs. Last breath, feel free to hold it up there. And then slowly release down. Bring your hands and knees down onto the floor. Nice work, guys. Cat-cow. Feel the movement through the back of the body. Take some nice deep breaths. Inhale in one direction. Exhale in the other direction. One last cycle. Awesome. So coming down onto your bellies now, you can come for a press up position or just slowly roll yourself down. In this position, we want to feel a sense of pressing our pubic bone down into the mat, still trying to tuck our tailbone. Or if you think about the crease below your buttocks, try and pull that down towards the back of your thighs a little bit more. Then feel the sense of lifting your belly and your ribs in towards the body more, so you feel a sense of lifting away from the floor. Then bring the arms out sideways, up onto your fingertips, in line with your shoulders. Elbows point towards the sky. Then try and squeeze your shoulder blades together on top of your back. Try and press your fingertips towards your toes and just lift the upper body a little bit. When you get there, try and lift your ribs and your tummy into your body more. And then slowly lower down. Lift up. Try and drag the fingers back towards your toes. Then pull your ribs into your body and lower back down. Last one. Slowly lift up. And then release. So we'll come into Sphinx pose now. So if you prop yourself up on your forearms, what you can do here is have your elbows directly under your shoulders, but if that feels too intense, you just walk your forearms forward away from your chest. In this position, you want to press down into the floor to try and lift the chest. But you also want to try and pull your chest through the arms, as if you're really trying to slide forward along the mat. Holding here for a few breaths. Try and lift your ribs and your belly up away from the floor here. And then rather than lifting the chin to the ceiling, lengthen the neck by pulling the chin to throat. And then see if you can create a little bit more space, or the idea of space, by lengthening the crown forward and then lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Now, option to stay here, or to take a break if you like. Otherwise, start to drop your chin to your chest and imagine you're coming into the cat shape. You're rounding your spine. Lift your belly and your ribs up away from the floor more, and then allow your hips to lift as well. Coming into this funny plank position. If you want more challenge, lift the knees as well. And then slowly lower everything down, bone by bone. Roll through the spine, lengthen the chest forward and up. One more like that, chin to throat. Lift the belly and the ribs in and up, lift the hips up, lift the knees up if you want a little bit more challenge, and then slowly roll back down. Good. Now this time we're going to come up into dolphin. So we're going to interlace the hands. Give it a go. It is a challenging position, but it is our last challenging position this morning before we start to wind down. So from here, press down into your forearms, chin to chest, lift yourself up. Option 1, stay on your knees and start to walk your knees forward and then hover the knees up. Option 2, lift off the knees, walk the feet towards your elbows, keep the knees bent, press the chest back towards your thighs for your dolphin pose. Keep pulling your ribs into your body here, pulling the stomach towards your spine. Last few moments. And then gently release the knees down. Go a little bit wider than hip width, and we rest back towards child's pose. So heels towards, bottom towards your heels. Walk your arms out nice and long, stretch through the fingertips. Allow your chest to rest down towards the floor. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out the mouth. Good, one more breath like that, in through the nose. Exhale, side out the mouth. Good, and then just start to gently walk your child's pose over to the right side. So you can lift up onto your fingertips and shimmy yourself over towards the right. In this position, try and keep the heaviness through your pelvis. So really anchor the left side of your pelvis down towards your left heel. And even see if you can lightly press your left shoulder down towards the floor. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, side out the mouth. Awesome, and then walk over to the other side. Same thing here, try and anchor your right hip down, your right shoulder down towards the floor. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, side out the mouth. Coming back to center. And then slowly make your way up over onto your bottom. And we're going to slowly roll down through the spine. So just gently start to roll, curl the tailbone under, use the stomach muscles to lower you down as slow as you can. When you get down there, reach out, extend through the fingertips, arms reach up, but try and keep your ribs pulling down into the body, back of the ribs into the floor. Point the toes, chin to throat. Reach, 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 and then relax the arms back down beside you. Now let's go a little bit wider with the arms, so out away from the body, maybe even in line with your shoulders. Bend the knees. Now allow your knees to roll over towards the right side. Now in this position, your left hip is now on top of the body. What we want to do is try and press that left hip away from the side of our left rib cage. So you try and create space in the top of your waist by really trying to reach the left hip bone away. Good. One more breath here. Then pull into the center, slowly draw your knees back and then across to the other side, nice and slowly. Let the legs be heavy and then try and create that space by pressing your your right hip bone away from the right ribs. One more breath. Then gently come back to center. This time step the feet a little bit wider and slowly allow the knees to roll from side to side, like a windscreen wiper. A little bit more fluid. Inhale one way, exhale the other. Feel free to start to extend the arms up above your head, like over the back of your head on the floor. But just make sure that your ribs aren't popping up away from the floor. So try and keep the back of your rib cage pulling down onto the floor. Yeah, so we just keep that nice container. The stomach muscles are still supporting us. And then nice deep breaths. Good. Roll all the way over onto your right side. And then reach your left arm forward. So we'll just do a little rainbow stretch here. Your left arm is going to start to sweep above your head and over behind you. Your eyes will follow the hand and try and reach the arms in opposite directions. And then slowly come all the way back. Good, now just one more on the other side. So roll yourself all the way over onto the left side. We would do more, but we're time limited. Reach the arm up and over the back of the head. Once you get to your final destination with that right arm, reach the arms away from each other. Create space in your joints. Good, and then slowly unravel. Bring the arm all the way back. Lying onto your back here. Maybe just bring the knees towards your chest. A little gentle circle of your knees here. Feel free to rock from side to side on the back of your pelvis. Taking some nice deep breaths and really just letting it go. Awesome guys, so it says less than a minute to go, so I'll have to let you do your own relaxation today. Sorry, I've probably run over time a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me. It was really nice to have you this morning. See you later. Enjoy your Easter weekend, especially those of you that are still working. I'm sure it's nice to have a couple of days off with everybody. Cool, thanks guys.